Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive wisdom and insights, and we go as guided. And we are working with a beautiful stellium. A stellium is a grouping of planets all together in one sign. And as of the full moon that's coming up on the 17th, this Friday, the 17th of April, there will be 8 celestial bodies in the sign of Aries. Can you say things are getting hot? Yes. So we are working with the energies of the Aries new moon that's coming up on Friday the 17th. And we also have a minor grand trine. I'm just going to bring this up so that you can see the astrological chart for the new moon in Aries. And as you can see at the top of the chart, there are those 8 celestial bodies, Neptune, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Chiron, the moon, the sun. Aries is also there. So there is a tremendous amount of celestial energy, all concentrated in the first sign of the zodiac, Aries. And then you see the blue triangle, that's a mini grand trine, and that's between Uranus, the higher mind, expect the unexpected, Pluto, the lord of the underworld, and then Neptune is at the apex. And so we have these, and Neptune is, of course, the highest ideals and everything. It can be our dreams, our highest ideals. It can also be illusion and delusion. So we're working with this, and also the Pluto is squaring, so that's a frictional aspect, is squaring the new moon, so the sun and the moon, at the time of the Aries new moon. Where is all this leading? Well, it's leading to our main theme, which is a plethora of advance. Harmonious aspects abound. We're going to jump into what that all means. But before I do so, I want to and welcome Kiki, welcome Alicia, welcome Colleen. I want to go to astrologer Chani Nicholas. This is from the weekly issue number 111. Very, very appropriate, 111. All these massive new beginnings and how we mind our thoughts and so forth. But Chani Nicholas, a once-in-a-lifetime cosmic collision. Buckle up, babe. This week, 7 planets, but it's really 8 heavenly bodies, huddle together in Aries and bring a once-in-a-lifetime flurry of fiery energy. In case you're curious, the last time this many planets gathered in Aries was 1821. And the last time the sun, the moon, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, and Neptune specifically met up here was so long ago it glitches our astro software. We're talking millennia. So when Neptune and Saturn came together at the zero degrees point, the 0 point of Aries, that had not happened in 6,000 plus years. Now, the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, and Neptune specifically being here in Aries all together has been millennia. So you can see that, and astrologer Rick Levine, I watched a video that he had just done, and he compared this time, and specifically the month of April 2026, the Aries new moon that's occurring on the 17th. And he spoke of this in the way which made such brilliant sense. And he said, this is literally metamorphosis. This isn't, as he said, the leaves, falling off the trees and regenerating in a normal cycle and so forth. He said, this is caterpillar to butterfly, and how the distance between the actual organic and the molecular breakdown, death, and reconstruction, renewal of the caterpillar to become the butterfly, and how it's a metamorphosis. It's forever changed. And he also commented on, he said, imagine that if the caterpillar had the ego, the mind, the ego of a human, it would never subject itself to this literal death, because of course it's going to cease to exist. The caterpillar ceases to exist. It goes into the chrysalis. It transmutes itself. And what emerges is this metamorphosis, this butterfly. And so Rick Levine, the astrologer, is speaking about how that's what's happening to us, for us, with all of these massive changes, and how that will really solidify when Uranus enters Gemini on the 26th of April, coming up towards the end of the month. And so you see how astrologer Chani Nicholas is talking about this is we're talking millennia, and that it glitches their astro software because they can't go back far enough to see when they come together, that it's that far back. And so she continues, so enjoy your downtime while you can, because this lineup will dare you to rally your courage. And there are many of us that are feeling this. It's like like the foot on the gas pedal, and at the same time, and the other foot on the brake. There's this urge and this desire to run forward, to move forward, to receive the new. And yet, as we talked about last week, it's all in divine time, will, and order. This isn't something we can rush. And astrologer Rick Levine was saying that as well, about how you can't go in and help or open up the chrysalis or help. You would literally destroy the transformation, the metamorphosis. This is about divine will, divine orchestration, as above, so below. And so, in that sense, the way we help ourselves is with patience and grace while we navigate this, one foot on the gas pedal, one foot on the brake, until it's all finally time. I was going to say you can't rush a souffle. You pull it out too soon, it falls, it collapses. You pull it out at just the right time, it's perfection. That's what we're talking about here. So, to continue with astrologer Chani Nicholas. So it's about, this lineup is going to dare us to rally our courage. Plus, there's a new moon conjunct together with Chiron, the wounded healer, in the mix, which means doubt, old wounds, and or fears of failure are likely to surface too. Do your best to use the friction as fuel, and remember to pace yourself. This is tough astrology, as Mars, the planet of conflict, Saturn, the planet of obstacles, and Mercury, the planet of communication, all link up over the next week. Frustration, burnout, and the sense you're pushing against things that just won't budge are highly probable. However, wins are also possible when you work within your limits, work within where you are. What can I do in this moment so that I do not succumb to burnout and madness and hysteria and the monkey minds of everything, but I'm in alignment, I'm in the flow, and how I can channel all of this heat, all of this renewal energy in Aries, this fire, purposefully. So it's work within your limits and find constructive outlets for the heat. This week marks the beginning of Taurus season. Reframe every grueling push and call for urgency as an invitation to slow down and ground. So we're going to shift from the Aries season into Taurus season. So from fire to earth. And so there's going to be an ability to ground this, to nourish, to bathe in the embodiment of this baptism by fire, this renewal. We just need to do it in a constructive way. And because otherwise, it's like lick your finger and stick it in a socket, see what you're going to get lit up. So no need to do that. One should know, water, electricity, they don't mix. It's not a good combination. So let it all come about. So this is where we're beginning. So let's go back to, again, our main theme, which is a plethora of advance, harmonious aspects abound. And so a plethora of advance. In a spiritual context, a plethora of advance signifies a season of rapid, multifaceted spiritual growth, often characterized by an abundance of signs, synchronicities, and internal shifts. It represents an overabundant plethora, movement forward, advance, indicating that the soul is undergoing accelerated evolution. It means the soul is progressing rapidly, perhaps clearing many lifetimes of karma in one go. So this is about advanced growth and an abundance of growth. So allow, we've talked about emptying the vessel and honing and polishing our stone and so forth. Allow this abundance of growth to occur organically. Go with the flow. It's an expansion of consciousness, a feeling that your inner world, creativity, and heart are opening, allowing you to move beyond self-limiting beliefs, imposter syndrome, and fear. It's a rising vibration. You may feel your energy shifting and bioenergy flowing down the head, representing a higher frequency. It's also about this bombardment of synchronicities. So you constantly see signs, angelic numbers, repeating numbers, and meaningful coincidences that confirm you are on the right path. Will be an increased intuition and clarity. Things that once confused you become simple and clear. You become less reactive to life's struggles, laughing more at yourself and finding ease even in difficult situations. Number 2 from the unseen, they said, easy come, easy go. Don't sweat the small stuff, with multiple explanation points. So here it is, lightheartedness. You become less reactive to life's struggles, laughing more at yourself and finding ease even in difficult situations. Easy come, easy go. Don't sweat the small stuff. Remember, everything's purposeful. Everything's happening for a reason. And when we allow, that was our key word last week, when we allow ourselves to see that, to take a beat, then we can see through it and we can laugh at the moment and we can see, this is meaningful. Many times that the purpose of it, the meaning of it, we get it in hindsight, after the fact. However, the quicker we get it in the moment, meaning allow, so that we can see it and receive it, the easier it becomes. We don't sweat the small stuff. It's also about unusual kindness, acting with compassion and service to others with zero expectation of return or recognition. This is just authenticity, purity, humility, grace in action. This is about the purity of intention, that we do what we do without expectation of return, of getting something in return, or the recognition. Just simply do it. The gift is in the being, in the doing. And then the receiving will come of its own accord. But when strings are attached, it sullies the energy. And I had this conversation with a dear friend and colleague and client. It's to be mindful of the ingredients the energy, the ingredients that we put in to the recipe, into the soup, into the mix. Because when we put something that's expectation or illicitness or a shadow aspect, that's an ingredient in the soup, in the recipe. Well, and then when things go south later, we as humans go, well, I don't understand. And yet go back to the beginning. Well, what was in the base of the soup that you created in the recipe, in the mix? Oh, you had illicitness in there. No wonder it tastes the way it does. No wonder it came out the way it came out. Because that was at the root of the recipe. So be clear about your purity and the purity of your intentions at this time. Because there's a lot of fire here. There's a lot of heat. And we want it to be clean and pure. This is about divine intervention and empowerment. So a plethora of advance. And so this advancement is not always due to sheer effort, but a plethora of grace that makes spiritual progress unavoidable, pushing you forward even when things seem difficult. It's about divine alignment. Your actions are no longer solely driven by the ego, but are propelled by the Holy Spirit or divine impulse. This is soul source connection. This is higher octave self. This is heart, ego, mind, personality, human, soul, all of it aligned with purity, with grace, and then potential pitfalls, spiritual ego. An abundance of spiritual experiences can lead to arrogance or impatience, thinking you are, quote, more advanced than others, which can be a trap. So again, with humility, great humility and grace, you may know, oh, I know this, or I don't need that. Well, but maybe you do, or maybe it's simply a refresher course, or maybe it's there, again, it's purposeful. What do I need to know in this moment? And let me allow myself to receive it with humility and grace. And then a need for grounding, a plethora of energy, all 8 heavenly celestial bodies in Aries, or the Ram, first out of the gate. So a plethora of energy needs to be balanced with grounding to avoid becoming detached from reality. So we're going to harness all of this fire in Aries, moving into Taurus season that's coming up here in days. Ultimately, a plethora of advance is a wake-up call to pay attention to your spiritual life, to your soul source connection, your soul, your knowing. Pay attention to it, especially at this time, as you are likely being accelerated towards your highest potential and purpose. This isn't about where we've been. That's done. And the human, the mind, the ego, looks to the things that we know. But this is all about the unknown. This is the fool in the tarot, embarking on this whole new adventure after this massive metamorphosis. So it's about allowing ourselves to say, okay, I know what I know. Let me make room and space for what I don't know. And allow divine time, will, and order to infuse the sauce, the recipe, so that we experience the next octave of ourselves, the next expression, the unknown. And that we do so like the fool in the tarot, which is, it's the ingenue, it's the innocence, it's the wonder, it's the excitement. The fool steps off the cliff. Let me just bring up the image. The fool steps off the cliff. The trusted companion, the dog is the trusted companion, purity. We have the knapsack with all the tools from the magician with us, the sun, the full sun just radiating behind us. And as we step off solid ground, what we know, into the unknown, the clouds are there. And in that way, it's like Master Jesus walking on water. The divine says to us, see, you too can do this. It's in scripture. You too can do this. We all have the ability. So we step off in the clouds. We don't fall. We step in the clouds, carry us, deliver us. The divine carries us, and that divinity is within us. And that carries us and moves us forward. So This is a plethora of advance. Now we have harmonious aspects abound. And harmonious aspects abound centers on a state of alignment, grace, and effortless flow, where different facets of life, internal, relational, and divine, are working together without tension or conflict. If you are in tension and conflict, there's something about what's occurring, what choice you're making. Are you forcing it? Is it not yet time? Are we acting too fast? I just experienced this where I was forcing something and I had to pull back and say, nope, I'm not listening. And what the word was wait. And the minute I waited, all the energy, all the force, the energy that was receded, came back into a calm state of peace. So this is about heeding your inner knowing, your wisdom, your intuition, your soul, because it's without tension or conflict. This harmonious aspects abound. It signifies a period of soul well-being and spiritual maturity where one is at peace with oneself and the universe. It represents a harmonious integration of mind and body where there is no inner conflict between thoughts and desires. It indicates that one's inner world is in check, creating a sense of at-homeness with oneself. When we're at peace, we're at home. Okay. We're making peace with the unknown, with not knowing, with divine time, will, and order. And once we heed that call and we do what we know to do, wait, all that pressure that was screeching goes away. It subsides because now we're in alignment. We're in the flow. It doesn't mean do nothing. It means heed the call, the wisdom that's within you and align with it. Take the steps. Allow yourself to wait if that's what the message is. This is about abounding grace and divine provision. In a spiritual sense, abound means to possess or be surrounded by an abundance of divine blessings and grace. This refers to a full tide of divine love that covers different aspects of life, ensuring that one has enough strength to carry out their purpose. We lack nothing. If we're feeling lack, it's a mental construct. It doesn't mean that it's not, quote unquote, a literal current reality in that nanosecond of I am, of present being. But it doesn't mean that we lack something either. Because the minute we need it, air quotes, need it, it presents itself. Which means in the instant before it, we didn't need it. But our mind, our ego, is going to say to us, I need it, I don't have it, But that's okay, but then come back into alignment. Allow yourself to align, grace. So it's about harmonious aspects are inherently easy, not necessarily peaceful, but rather an unburdened interaction between different energies. It's about making peace with these disparate energies. It's not fighting them. It's not eradicating them. It's just bringing them into harmony. It is a time when the universe supports your path, allowing for growth to occur without extreme struggle. So this, a plethora of advance, harmonious aspects abound. It's allowing for growth to occur without extreme struggle. If there's extreme struggle involved, we're fighting against, you're swimming upriver. You're fighting against yourself. It's an integration of opposites. It signifies the ability to balance contradictory forces, such as work and rest, or dark and light, which is often represented by the yin-yang philosophy. It means finding unity in diversity, bringing together different opinions or personalities into a cohesive, creative whole. And so and when yin-yang, when, one half is white, one half is black, and they often talk about when that oscillates at a high speed, they merge with one another effortlessly, harmoniously. And when it slows down and everything, those properties, those energies separate again, which says they are one and they are unique. So they can come together harmoniously, effortlessly, and they can also individualize themselves effortlessly. That's harmonious interaction. And lastly, in short, when harmonious aspects abound, it is an invitation to dwell in the present moment, release resistance, and trust that the universe is providing for your highest good. Because don't forget too, that beautiful expression, it's protection, not rejection. We can be running forward and the foot's on the gas pedal, and yet things aren't happening. And then there's frustration, and then there's anxiety, and then there's fear, and there's lack. And yet when we come back out of that, it's to remember the universe, the unseen, your soul, wants the highest and best for you. It wants the highest and best for all. And so when we dwell in the present, when we allow, well, then we release the resistance and we trust. And then we calm down. We go, oh, okay. Because don't forget, they're also protecting us. The unseen is also, while it's advancing us, it's bringing us things, these gifts and blessings and synchronicities and signs and symbols and affirmations and confirmations. They are also there to protect us, to keep us from going down the wrong road or experiencing something that we don't need to experience, that we can walk on by, avoid. We just have to be in the present moment to listen, to go as guided. Number one from the unseen. They said, where you have been, quote, waiting, now you rapidly advance, take off. And so our intuitive energies for this Aries new moon chart is high octane liftoff. This is the image of a rocket ship blasting off. High octane liftoff. Things are getting hot. Where you have been waiting, now you rapidly advance, take off. And high octane can mean the act of starting to develop or improve suddenly, or take off, especially the vertical takeoff of a rocket or helicopter. It's also, in a spiritual context, refers to a sudden, powerful, and often divine acceleration in a person's spiritual growth, purpose, or situation, characterized by rapid elevation and increased energy. It signifies moving from a state of stagnation or low energy to a high-powered, dynamic spiritual state. So this is rapid acceleration, rapid advance. This easy come, easy go, don't sweat the small stuff, stay in alignment, and where you have been waiting, now you rapidly advance and take off. This is often seen as a spirit of lifting, where grace and divine favor move an individual above their circumstances or competition in a way that defies natural political or social protocols. It's going to defy the odds. It's going to say, I don't know how this happened. It just happened. But it didn't just happen. We were in alignment with it. It's what our soul came to do. And here's this divine favor where it's this high octane liftoff. It is characterized by speed, where things that previously took years to accomplish or change happen in a fraction of the time, often described as a sudden shift. 8 celestial bodies, all in Aries. I mean, it's the 0 point. It's the starting point of the astrological year and wheel. 8 celestial bodies. That is an incredible amount of energy and alignment and metamorphosis, transformation, especially when you put it all together. This experience is associated with a high octane soul, where an individual is filled with intense divine energy, often described as a high voltage or high powered feel, that foot on the gas pedal, foot on the brake, that moves them beyond their normal capacity. It frequently follows a shift in perspective, moving away from self-reliance or despair to focus on divine purpose, often initiated by high octane prayers, meaning high octane unity, oneness, connectivity that are focused on God's plan, divine will, time, and order. This liftoff involves breaking through limitations, breaking through barriers, breaking bad habits, and removing, quote, the landing gear of problems to experience a new level of spiritual freedom. The landing gear on a plane is there to take off and land, but it retracts or extends itself during flight. So, because otherwise it becomes a drag on the aerodynamics of a plane. So that's why it, retracts itself or extends itself, but only when necessary. In essence, high octane liftoff is the experience of being propelled forward by a higher power, resulting in a deeper, more energized, and elevated existence. So this again, where we are beings of free will, this is about being in alignment. This is about allowing something greater, something higher, something unseen, something ordained, divine time, will, and order to accelerate, lift, energize, influence, deliver us. And so where the landing gear, so ego, mind, personality, what we know, fear, lack, all that can be the landing gear. Well, retract it so that it's not a drag on your aerodynamics, your high octane liftoff. Number 3, because this is all, and we've talked about this is what this is all about. This time, this era, this whole journey of the weekly wisdom and insights journey and what the unseen has been guiding us towards. And it's number 3 from the unseen. And they said, Emancipation Proclamation. The eternal release into freedom. Grasp it, choose it. It's a divine offering, which means it's a choice. It's always a choice. And they said, a rejection of enslavement. So we have Emancipation Proclamation. Issued by President Abraham Lincoln on January 1st, 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation declared that all enslaved people in Confederate states then, thenceforward, and forever free. As a wartime measure, it shifted the Civil War's purpose from merely preserving the Union to actively ending slavery. See, this isn't like astrologer Rick Levine spoke about. This isn't about the tree and the leaves and they fall off and it regenerates and it's its normal cycle. This was about shifting the Civil War at the time, the Civil War's purpose. So we're talking about humanity's purpose from merely preserving itself, the Union, preserving itself, the tree, the leaf falling off, coming just routine cycles, to actively ending slavery, enslavement, actually liberating ourselves from the previous era to embody and receive the new one, the Aquarian age, the matriarchal age, the we the people, the we the divine. So it actively shifted everything, actively ending slavery, which allowed Black men to enlist in the Union Army and paved the way for final abolition via the 13th Amendment. The proclamation specifically applied to states currently in rebellion and some areas already under Union control. It was justified as a, quote, fit and necessary war measure to cripple the Confederate economy and labor force. It enabled the recruitment of nearly 200,000 Black soldiers and sailors, significantly strengthening the Union war effort. By linking the Union cause directly to abolition, It significantly reduced the likelihood of European powers intervening on behalf of the Confederacy. While it did not immediately free all enslaved people in the US, it fundamentally shifted the character of the war, making the abolition of slavery a binding federal goal. It was the crucial legal and moral step leading to the permanent abolition of slavery in the United States via the 13th Amendment that came 2 years later in 1865. That's the literal explanation of Emancipation Proclamation and what occurred. This is the spiritual explanation. The spiritual meaning of the Emancipation Proclamation lies in its representation of divine liberation, acting as a historical parallel to spiritual freedom from sin and oppression. It symbolizes a decisive, done act of grace, similar to redemption, transitioning individuals from bondage to a new identity, requiring a shift from obeying old masters to walking in freedom. It's a done act of grace. Like a spiritual decree, the proclamation declared freedom immediately rather than promising it later, reflecting the theological concept of being set free from sin's power through Master Jesus Christ. It is finished. The transition from bondage to freedom. It symbolizes moving from the enslavement of sin and fear, or literal captivity, to the liberty of a new righteous life. Remember, this is a metamorphosis we're talking about. It's the responsibility to live free. This is very important. The responsibility to live free. Just as slaves had to accept and live into their freedom, it symbolizes the Christian duty to not return to the yoke of slavery. There's a responsibility in recognizing the new day, the new order, the new era, the new energy. And the responsibility is how we actively align with it and choose it, embody it, so as to not return to what is familiar, the past, this enslavement. And it's not unlike, remember, this happened with Moses and the Israelites. And they are in, I believe, Mount Sinai. He goes up Mount Sinai. Moses, he receives the 10 Commandments. And during that 40-day time period where Moses was in communion with God, Yahweh, the Israelites fell into fear, despair, worry. Oh, we were better off with Pharaoh. Oh, we knew what we had and we could rely upon it. And we're now in the wilderness and we're worried about food and where we're going because it's unknown to us. And then, of course, the golden calf and the false idol. And so when Moses came down from the mountain with the tablets, he smashed them because he was so upset that they lacked the faith, the trust, the responsibility to live free. It comes with responsibility to set ourselves free. The divine is doing its part. We must do ours. And it's a choice. It is often viewed, and this is divine liberation, it is often viewed by theologians as a tangible expression of God's, the divine's, desire to release the oppressed and purify the nation from the sin of slavery. So this is divine liberation. This is divine purity, divine time, will, and order. The divine, as above, the divine is demonstrating to us the new era, the new world, the new energy, this metamorphosis. We have a responsibility to live free, to embody it, to emulate it until we understand it, get it right. Some perspectives also compare it to the gospel, which is seen as a spiritual emancipation proclamation that frees humanity from the guilt of sin or shadow and the bondage of religious legalism. So, this Emancipation Proclamation, the eternal release into freedom. It's the eternal release into freedom. And they're showing me, the unseen is showing me, it's the cell with the bars and a person standing within it. The door is wide open. The person is holding the key. The door is wide open. So, which depicts that our enslavement can be internal, mental, emotional, not literally physically enslaved, where the door is locked. It's open. We need only walk through it. And then we receive this higher octave, this higher dimension, this higher version of ourselves. Number 4 from the unseen is totality. The word totality. It means the whole of something. It can also mean the complete, comprehensive nature of God's sovereignty. Totality. And then they said, I am that I am. So, I am that I am is a profound divine declaration from Exodus 3:14. We were just speaking about Exodus, where God, Yahweh, tells Moses his name, signifying self-existence, eternal nature, immutability, and faithfulness. It translates to, I am who I am, I will be what I will be, or I will become whatsoever I please, highlighting a constantly present and active nature. The phrase indicates that God, the divine, exists in and of himself without beginning or end, unlike created beings. It's the Alpha and the Omega. It's the yin and the yang. Comes together and separates effortlessly. It emphasizes God's consistency and faithfulness. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever, making his promises reliable. And this is this true statement. We were talking about this in a few shows back, where it was the everlasting change and ever-present consistency. They're one and the same. And that's what this is speaking to. I am that I am. Some interpretations, such as I will be who I will be, suggest the divine is actively present and transforming rather than a static concept. So it's ever consistent, ever present, all omniscient. Everything is here, and yet ever changing. Because it is, the whole of the universe is ever constant, ever present, ever changing. Both are true, one and the same. Philosophers like Thomas Aquinas interpreted this as the divine or God being the very essence of existence, or being itself. And so it's number 4, it's foundational from the unseen. They're saying totality, the whole of something. So this is the whole of something. And it's also the complete comprehensive nature of God, of the divine's sovereignty. I am that I am. That is true about us. We are whole and sovereign divine beings having a human experience, heaven on earth. And so this totality is to recognize where we are ever constant and ever changing, and to allow those to come into harmony with one another, to be in ease with ourselves. Our shadow and our ego mind need not and should not, but does not need to be in conflict with the divine, with the soul. They operate effortlessly as one when we allow them to. It's a choice. Number 5 from the unseen, which denotes change. A commanding presence, state, guides, dictates, commands all. So a commanding presence, divine time, will, and order. A commanding presence or state guides, dictates, and commands all. Let there be no other greater truth. This is the wisdom and the understanding that change, 5, change comes about, metamorphosis comes about. Rick Levine, astrologer Rick Levine, talking about the caterpillar not having an ego so that it sacrifices itself to transform, to metamorphosize into a butterfly. Enslavement. So the caterpillar is crawling along the earth. The butterfly takes flight. It's no longer enslaved or bound. It's limitless. It's free. It can go anywhere. That is true of the caterpillar. It's just a much longer, slower route process. The butterfly with wings takes flight. And thereby that transformation. So the commanding presence, the divine, your soul is in charge. It leads. It knows all. And it's when we allow the human, the ego, the mind, the personality to be in alignment and service to the soul, we take flight. Things are effortless. Let there be no other greater truth. Now I want to go to our keyword. We're going to go into our keyword first, which is restoration. And restoration is the act of returning something to its original, unimpaired, or improved condition, or bringing it back to a former position. We're going back to where we began, an octave higher. It involves repairing, rebuilding, or reestablishing something. Trust in ourselves, trust in the divine, trust in the unknown, the unseen, the all that is. So it's reestablishing something. And it can also is about repairing, rebuilding, or reestablishing something such as art, buildings, or health that was damaged, lost, or degraded. It's an act of restoring, or the condition of being restored. The act of restoring, renewal, revival, or reestablishment. So this restoration is the whole of the whole. Humanity's liberation, restoration, being set free, liberated. But we have a responsibility to live, to be it, to become it. So that's our key word, and our mantra is I rejoice in my newness. And this ties into number 6, spirit and service. Reality realigned, reimagined. What once was is no longer. Rejoice. And rejoice means to feel, show, or experience great joy, delight, or happiness. And here our mantra, I rejoice in my newness. And you see this young child with this kite, this double kite. And you'll see how, I want to go back to quickly to number 3, Emancipation Proclamation, because it came in with Isaiah 61. And with Emancipation Proclamation, Isaiah 61, the Spirit, it's the year of the Lord's favor. The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is on me, because the Lord has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the captives, and release from darkness for the prisoners, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all who mourn, and provide for those who grieve in Zion, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. They will be called oaks of righteousness, a planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor. They will rebuild the ancient ruins and restore the places long devastated. They will renew the ruined cities that have been devastated for generations. Strangers will shepherd your flocks. Foreigners will work your fields and vineyards. There are many parallels to all of this today. And you will be called priests of the Lord. You will be named ministers of our God. You will feed on the wealth of nations, and in their riches you will boast. Instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion. And that's why this image of our mantra, I rejoice in my newness, the kite is a double kite. Instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion. And instead of grace, you will rejoice in your inheritance. Our inheritance is divine liberation, freedom, the advancement, the ascension, the metamorphosis, the transformation, this divine purity. You will rejoice in your inheritance, and so you will inherit a double portion in your land, and everlasting joy will be yours. For I, the Lord, love justice. I hate robbery and wrongdoing. In my faithfulness, I will reward my people and make an everlasting covenant with them. Their descendants will be known among the nations and their offspring among the peoples. All who see them will acknowledge that they are a people the Lord has blessed. I delight greatly in the Lord. My soul rejoices in my God. For he has clothed me with garments of salvation and arrayed me in a robe of his righteousness. As a bridegroom adorns his head like a priest, and as a bride adorns herself with her jewels. For as the soil makes the sprout come up, and a garden causes seeds to grow, so the sovereign Lord will make righteousness and praise spring up before all nations. This is a time of renewal, of metamorphosis, of divine time, will, and order, of totality. I am that I am, a commanding presence and state, guides, dictates, commands all. Let there be no other greater truth. And this reality realigned, reimagined. What once was is no longer. Rejoice. Number 7 from the unseen is the song, we've had this a few times from Kathy Tricoli, Everything Changes. So when we're looking at this Aries new moon chart, this stellium, a stellium is more than like 4 or 5 planets, there's 8 celestial bodies, all in Aries. We have left the Piscean era. We are in the Aquarian era. And here's all of this energy. And as each one of these celestial bodies came into Aries, they were triggering the 0 point, which was triggering the Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees Aries that hasn't happened in 6,000 plus years. There's that mini grand trine. It's a harmonious aspect. So we are being assisted in this moment of transition. It's not easy. We must live into it. Take the responsibility to claim it. This is that beautiful Emancipation Proclamation, the eternal release into freedom. Grasp it, choose it. It's a divine offering. It's a rejection of enslavement. These energies are powerful, 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 powerful energies. And so it's high octane liftoff. Things are getting hot. It's restoration. It's I rejoice in my newness. And that's a choice. All of this that the unseen is providing and talking about, it's happening. Period. It's a fait accompli. It's happening. Our divine will, our choice, our individual will is choice. Do I align with it? Do I grasp it? Do I recognize and realize it? Do I take responsibility to live it and align with it and allow it its blessings to lift me, to unfold, to deliver me? This is, it's the Wheel of Fortune. There are, I believe, 5 major arcana in this. So the Wheel of Fortune is a major arcana. Major arcana in the tarot denote fated events, destiny, fate. So we have the Wheel of Fortune of things moving forward. The World, where it's a whole new world. It becomes this, again, it represents change and evolution. Why? The sun. The sun denotes the divine. It's our life force. So we're moving ever closer ever constant and ever closer to the divine, to our divine selves. Does it take strength, courage? Does it require us to tame our carnal side, our lack, our shadow? Yes. But it can be easily done when we surrender, when we allow it. You're surrendering to your soul, not some external force or person or thing, but to your soul, your knowing, to the divine within you. That brings about Six of Wands, celebration, victory. It's a homecoming. It is to be celebrated, rejoice, to feel, show, or experience great joy, delight, and happiness. And it's the Fool. It requires us to be the Fool, to believe it possible, to believe that we are, I am that I am. It is for us to believe that and to embark, to go as guided. It's not foolhardy. It's not running roughshod. It is about us listening and going as guided, walking in alignment with that, so that when we know to wait, we wait. When we know to advance, we advance. Now I'd like to go to Astrology by Lauren, and she's talking about the Aries stellium. And she begins with a quote from Jack London, The Call of the Wild. There is an ecstasy that marks the summit of life, and beyond which life cannot rise. And such is the paradox of living. This ecstasy comes when one is most alive, and it comes as a complete forgetfulness that one is alive. This ecstasy, this forgetfulness of living, comes to the artist, caught up and out of himself in a sheet of flame. So Astrology by Lauren. Not quiet, not peering from behind the curtains. Aries responds to the call of the wild with a zest for life and a call to action. Our warrior planet just emerged out of the depths of Pisces and has come home to its infernal abode. She's speaking about Mars. Trailing just behind our noble warrior, Mercury also enters Aries this week, giving us a total of 5 planets at the time, plus Chiron and Eris in the sign of Aries. The moon will then join the Aries pack for the new moon on April 17th. That's a lot of cardinal fire to contend with. In strong Aries weather, we can expect a call to action vibe, both collectively and personally. Like the call of the wild, we are being asked to reclaim our own inner beastling and take some sort of bold action. This is about reclaiming our sovereignty, our divinity, our divine essence and being, our freedom, and to take some sort of bold action. For those who are usually meek and cautious, this weather can shake you out of your lethargy and give you the motivation to be more assertive and sure of yourself. For those who are already confident, you will find yourself ready to embark on an adventure where nothing and no one can or will hold you back. But for those who often find themselves on the cutting edge of erratic impulsivity and fiery edginess, you might want to go with caution. All this fire is like a spark getting ready to ignite. So again, if you're acting from arrogance and hubris and entitlement and running roughshod over people, this fire, this spark can burn. It will ignite. And so again, is it propelling you forward in a pure, positive way, or is it scorched earth on you? Because we're meant to move forward in the purity of the time, of the day, of the order. Aries likes new adventures. Anything that is sparkly and even vaguely exciting entices. We're all in. This is the stuff of which heroes are made. There is something of a winner-take-all kind of atmosphere, though. So don't be surprised to see a lot of muscle flexing going on in the world. This energy can feel really competitive, where everyone is trying to be the strongest, fiercest, and most fearless contender. But remember, Leo, the lion, Mars energy, the purity of the creative force, the divine masculine. The lion need not roar to be seen, felt, heard. I am that I am. It just is. And so there's going to be energy where we're seeing a lot of bravado and, this, I'm the strongest and the fiercest and the most, fearless contender. And you don't have to, if you are, you don't need to say it. And if you're saying it, you're probably not. So so be mindful of that during this time. Perhaps even, and more so because this is the Aries new moon, it's beginning the year. New moons, full moons, they have a line. The first 2 weeks are most intense, but they have a lineage to them that arcs out for months. This can be a year tone because it's the Aries new moon. So this can be perhaps even recklessly so that people act this way. Mars in Aries is unbridled, and Mercury in Aries will be teaching us about the consequences of impulsive speech and jumping to conclusions. This is going to be think before you hit the send button or speak, or on social media and so forth. Think before you speak. However, if we can just channel a wee bit of this fiery energy, we will be amazed at how much can and will get accomplished. Use the energy to get moving, to start new projects, and take the initiative. This is not the sort of weather in which we sit around waiting for someone else to take charge. The divine is in charge. Are we in alignment with it or not? And when we are, that force, that fire, that creative spark, it's going to up-level us. It's a plethora of advanced, harmonious aspects abound. When we're not in flow with it, when we're utilizing it in a shadow aspect way, it's a bug zapper. It's not going to be pretty. And what we think we're going to get from that, there's going to be blowback. You're going to get torched. So it's a choice. Be mindful. So it's not about waiting around. It's take charge. This is about picking up the mantle and being your own master of ceremonies in alignment with divine time, will, and order, with the divine, with your soul. Saturn in Aries wants us to be the architects of our own lives. It's recognizing, what did my soul say it would do? That's what's most important. The rest of it is commentary and, illusion or delusion. The main focal point of life, what did my soul say it would do? What did it come to do? And allow that, align everything with that. Because it will always be far greater, far more than you, ego, mind, personality, human, would have ever chosen. And again, sometimes it's gonna knock us out, the cosmic 2x4. It's gonna knock us out of our comfort zone because we're meant to do it. We came here to do it. Because the human wants to be safe. But that's not what the soul didn't come here to be safe. The soul came here to experience, to thrive, heaven on earth, a divine divinity in human form. That's what it came to do. So it wants us to be the architects of our own lives, Astrology by Lauren, rather than relying on or even competing with others. This is about pushing ourselves individually to excel by taking charge of and creating our own destiny. This is about harnessing the power of our soul. And she closes with a quote from Emile Zola. And Emile Zola was born during an Aries stellium. If you ask me what I came to do in this world, I, an artist, I will answer you. I am here to live out loud. And so this is the fullness and the expression of our divinity, of our light. This time, this metamorphosis, is about releasing the chains that bind us, that bind you. They can be mental chains, emotional chains, physical chains, spiritual chains, whatever they might be, however they may present in your individual lives and our collective lives. This moment, this Aries new moon, the mini grand trine, this stellium of 8 celestial bodies in the sign of Aries, all the outer personal planets shifting signs. And remember, Uranus is shifting on the 26th. That'll be the final sign. It's shifting in from Taurus to Gemini on the 26th. That will be, I say begin / complete / begin the metamorphosis, meaning We're out of the chrysalis, and now it's where we take flight. Where are we all going? Individually, collectively. And how that delivers us. And I just want to close with these two beautiful quotes. The first one is from divination.com. True humility is a virtue that benefits all and to which all should aspire. Genuine humility. And the other is from tarot.com. Only when great vitality is present can real breakthroughs be achieved. You notice the sun radiating on the sunflowers. Only when great vitality is present. The divine. Only when the divine is present, great vitality, the divine is present, can real breakthroughs be achieved. It's when we align with our highest octave, our soul, that greatness occurs. We are in a moment of greatness and tremendous life force, fire. All aligned, totality. It's all aligned with divine time, will, and order. This is, and we had this back on the Pisces new moon, so it's 28 days later. The theme then was forced growth, the dawn of a new day. We are being forced to grow, to meet the day, the time, the age. And it's our responsibility to align with that. Don't get left behind. Don't get swept up in the chaos and the confusion and the anarchy of the past. It's done. The divine is clearly showing us, as above, so below. They're clearly showing us that day, that time, that era is done. We're moving forward. And so move forward with it. I love you all. Thank you so much for your time, your presence, your energy, your divinity, your life force on this beautiful journey that we're all sharing. And I can't thank you enough for it. And I can't wait to see what happens next. We will see you next week.